Well, hello. Good morning. Welcome to the Belong Collective. My name is Pastor Justin. I'm actually here pre-recording this message in my wife's teaching booth. This is where she teaches from. It already had the lights and everything set up for me. So I chose to do it here. My wife, if you didn't know, Brittany, she teaches children via Skype English in China. So she connects with students in China and teaches them English, and I get to use her little booth studio thing today to bring you the Life Connection in advance. I'm actually going to be in Indiana for Thanksgiving. We'll actually probably be getting close to coming on our way back on this particular Sunday when you're listening to this. So I thought it'd be good to pre-record a message because Thanksgiving has passed, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and that it was an amazing time. But now Christmas is officially here. No matter what your opinion, it's typically that after Thanksgiving, Christmas opens up. Like you can have a Christmas tree, you can go Christmas shopping. Maybe you were even going before. You can certainly start to decorate now. There's no rules on that. And if you have rules on that beyond Thanksgiving, you are probably a Grinch. All right, I'm just going to say it. So now as Christmas opens up, the Belong Collective is going to launch a Christmas series. And so today I wanted to get us kicked off with this Christmas series. It'll be a 5-part series, lead us all the way through Christmas. And so for today, as we kick off this series, I'll just kind of give you a little bit of what the series is going to be about. The title of the series is Christmas To-Do List. Christmas To-Do List. There was this meme floating around on the internet that I just saw probably a few weeks ago for the first time. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool reminder as we go through the holiday season of the Christmas to-do list and what it should be and compared to what it often is. So I said that would make a great sermon series. So I decided, let's just do that. Let's go through that, but let's look at it through a biblical lens. Let's look at it through what it looks like to look more like Jesus, what it looks like to love our neighbor and love ourselves as we go through this series, as we go through this particular content. So the meme shows like a particular thing, and then it has certain parts X'd out and changes the meaning of that particular to-do list item. And I don't know about you, but this particular season of all seasons seems to be when the to-do list takes over. Like I know, for example, when we get home, at some point we got to find time to go cut down a tree. That's part of our tradition. We cut down a tree, and it's a great time, right? And at some point, Brittany and I are going to have to sit down and either look on Amazon and create wish lists and do all that for the kids and like try to figure out exactly what we're going to buy this year, what we're not going to buy, what the budget's going to be, what, we have to figure out how we're going to, who we're going to buy for, like all of our family and stuff like that, what we're going to get them, how we're going to, if we're going to mail it in advance to them. We have to, think about food. Maybe you have to go shopping if you're hosting family. Oh man, that's crazy. Because then it's like, I don't know about you guys, but like if people are coming over, we got to clean the whole house. We got to-do list, to-do list, to-do list, to-do list. And it can get very chaotic in this particular season. I think worse than any other season sometimes, where we get so busy with either the mental checklist that we constantly have in our head or the physical, like on paper checklist that we have to just get through. But sometimes those moments that are supposed to be good, like going and cutting down a tree, can become these moments where there's so much going on that we fly right through it. We miss it. We're not very present for it. So today, what I want to talk about is being present. Obviously, during Christmas, for most of us, one thing on our to-do list is to buy presents, right? We're buying things for the people we love. We're gift giving. There's nothing evil about gift giving. It's good to give gifts, but I think sometimes we get so focused on buying presents, we forget to be present. And so today, what I want to share with you is 3 stories in the Bible where individuals or Jesus was present or championing presence, and then challenge us, even in an action this morning, as we're kicking off December here, to be present with our faith community, for the Belong Collective to have some time together to just be with one another, to talk with one another, to share with one another to look one another in the eye. Obviously, Christmas and the season is not the only thing hindering us from being present with one another. We have a relationship often with technology that keeps us from being present. It's very interesting how connected we are, how many connections we have with other people through social media and other avenues, but at the same time, how present we aren't, how we can be so connected, but at the same time that connection is not very deep. And so we're going to take a practice at the end. I'm just warning you for it now. For those of you who are like, no, I don't want to talk to other people, just you can take the next few minutes to start recognizing, your comfort zone is going to expand a little bit this morning. You're probably going to talk to some other people, so I'll give you that space. But at the end here, we're going to take some time to share with one another, to just open it up in the room for people to just catch up with people. How are you doing? How's your week going? How's Christmas going for you? What are you excited about? What are you nervous about? What are you anxious about? But before we go there, here's 3 reasons I think being present matters, and also 3 Bible stories or stories from the New Testament about this. So I think, number 1, when we are present, we are open to give and receive love. When we are present with one another, we are far more open to give and to receive love. There's a story where Jesus is approached by children, and the disciples stop the children. They're like, no, the kids can't come to the rabbi. Like, rabbis didn't really hang with kids. They had more important things to do. That's just the truth. Yes, in the first century, children didn't have as much value as like a society like ours would maybe value children. But at the same time, Jesus has got bigger, better things on his to-do list than to like hug some kids and kiss some babies. Like, you know what I mean? That just wasn't important in his particular economy. But what ends up happening is that Jesus is like, no, let the little children come to me. And he makes this image, and certainly breaking down the barriers of his day where children didn't really belong in those spaces. But even beyond that, Jesus is taking this moment to be present with these children, to be present in this moment that maybe society says it doesn't matter, or it doesn't matter to pause and to take the big things on your to-do list and take a break from it for this thing over here. But ultimately in this moment, Jesus is able to give and receive love. He receives the love of these little children that come to him. The desire they have for him, certainly I would assume that the joy and the warmth that they come with, but then also he's able to give that to them as well. He's able to share his love with them. And so as we go around during this holiday season, during this Christmas season especially, and we're busy and we're like, the most important thing to do today, the most important thing on my checklist is this. That may be true, but what if we encounter another opportunity? What if we come upon an opportunity that if we miss it, we lose an opportunity to give and receive love? And so let us look for those opportunities to be present where we can give and receive love, even if it means they're like, this isn't maybe the most important thing on my to-do list right now, but I need to make time for it because it matters. And maybe afterwards I'll realize that was the most important thing on my to-do list. I needed to share love with that person, and I needed to receive love from that person. Next, number 2, when we are present, we come awake to the needs around us. When we are present, we become awake to the needs that are around us. The Good Samaritan is an interesting story of this individual who is a Samaritan, and he stops and he sees this person beaten and he helps him. But there's multiple people that pass prior to him seeing this person in need. And those individuals had a to-do list. Those individuals had social pressures, things that they needed to get done. But ultimately, the Samaritan was present to the moment, present to the reality and the needs that this individual had above his own needs. It's called self-sacrificial love. That's what we call it in the scriptures. That's what we even see in the life and ministry and even death of Jesus, is that we see the self-sacrificial love that exists. And so in that self-sacrificial love, this Good Samaritan takes this individual, puts him on his donkey, takes him to an inn, pays for all this stuff, like, and then even like takes out a loan, pretty much says like, I'll come back through and I'll pay you however long it takes him to get better. Like, he goes out of his way to meet this need. When we are present, we become open to the needs around us, and maybe we get an opportunity to respond. Maybe we get an opportunity to help someone who's in need. And so this holiday season, this Christmas season, we get the opportunity to help people, to recognize the great and amazing privilege we maybe have. Maybe we're in a position to help someone else. Like the Good Samaritan was in a position of privilege. He wasn't injured. He clearly had some amount of wealth. He had a donkey. He had things that could help someone else. Maybe there are things that you have that can be a blessing to someone else, that can help someone else. But maybe you're flying through that to-do list so fast you don't even see it around you. You walk right past somebody who's hurting, who needs help, and ultimately all you're thinking about is everything you got to get done, instead of thinking about what resources you might have that might assist them. And so we need to think about that. We need to be present to the needs that exist around us. Okay, finally, number 3, when we are present, we place our time and energy where it matters most. When we are present, we place our time and energy where it matters most. There's this amazing story where Jesus goes and visits a couple of his friends, Mary and Martha, and while he's in their house, Mary, while Jesus is teaching, like goes and sits down and begins to like sit at the feet of Jesus and listen to his teachings. And Martha is running around getting the house ready. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, if we were having company over, and obviously it's Christmas time and you're probably getting ready to have company over, so maybe this will ring really true for you. But when we were going to have company over, we'd have to clean like the whole house. Like things like I never dusted in my house. But then when like company came over, it was like dusting has to get done. Everything has to get done. There's nothing that can be dirty when this person comes into our house. We have to have it completely clean. And like that's just maybe for you that might be your case too. But ultimately, it seems as if Martha is playing the role of like everything has to be prepared. Everything has to be prepared perfectly. We got to get it all ready, and we got to feed Jesus and the disciples, and we got to clean over here, and we got to do this over here. And Mary's like, Jesus is here. This is so cool. And she goes and sits with Jesus. And Martha gets very upset about this, as you can imagine, and is like, hold on, like, you need to help me. Like, we need to get this done. We got all these things to do. And here's what Jesus says to Martha. He says, Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed. In essence, she's going way over the top. There's only a few things needed. Like all the things you're getting ready, that's really cool and stuff that you're taking the time to do that. But few things are needed. Or indeed, only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Mary has chosen what is better. Or maybe what matters most, right? When we are present, we place our time and energy where it matters most. For some of us, that's a very difficult practice. It might take us beginning our morning with prayer, a prayer for ourselves, that we will be present to what matters most, that we'll be present in moments so that we see and place our time and energy where it matters most. For some of us, it might be taking some time to just breathe and maybe meditate throughout the day and focus on like how we're not going to miss these opportunities to be present. But ultimately in this season, if we just hop on the ride, we get our ticket stamped and get on the roller coaster, like we're not going to have any control. Like it's busy. Like it's busy for all of us. You're not the only one who's busy. You're not the only one whose life is crazy in this season. We're all pretty crazy in this season, I think. But if we pause, if we maybe even put some guardrails in, like I really feel like we don't have to just be along for the ride like everyone else. Like we can be present. we can pause. We can say, I think this matters. I think this could actually be one of the best Christmas seasons that I've gone through. One where at the end I don't feel wrecked from running from thing to thing to thing, but I actually feel full because I was present with people. I actually encounter more people in this particular month than any other month maybe of the year, and more people that are really close to me that I love any other month than the year. I probably spend time with them in this particular month. So I want to be present with them. Maybe that would actually make us full. And so my hope for you is that you would go and be present this season with your families, with your friends, at all the parties you might be at, even when you're doing the to-do list that you have. Maybe even in those moments you would be able to be present. Here's what we're going to do right now. What we're going to do right now is the video is going to end, and when the video ends, you guys are all going to stand up and walk around and just talk to one another. Just say, hey, maybe go talk to somebody you've never met before at the Belong Collective. Maybe find out what their favorite Christmas meal is, maybe, or food is. Maybe find out what they're hoping to get for Christmas, especially if it's a kid in the room, or what they're hoping to give. Maybe they're really excited about a gift, the idea that they have, or maybe ask about what relative they're most excited to reconnect with in this season. I don't know. Think of Christmas questions. Christmas movie. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Maybe might be a good question. But ultimately, just get talking. Be present with one another. Listen to one another. Maybe there's some depth you guys can get to in the next few minutes, even of like, what are your fears this holiday season? What do you hope to do different than last year that it might be better? I don't know. But take some time to talk and be present with one another. And then at some point, the music will bring you back. All right. It was great talking to you. You guys have a blessed Sunday morning. I'm so bummed I can't be there with you during this time, but I will see you next week.